Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is May 23rd, 2022, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the euro and the British pound both bounced nicely. Now looking at the economic events of the day, nothing scheduled. So as mentioned in the Forex symbols, the British pound and the euro both bounce. Looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both look like they bottom out, at least for now. Looking at commodities, gold gains nicely. Oil back on resistance. Looking at stocks, Tesla breaks lower to $600 a range. Now, if you guys remember, I did mention that Elon Musk was selling the stock almost at its highs. Now, if you look at insider trading, who was doing that, maybe to buy Twitter, but that's a side point. But looking at cryptocurrencies, also Bitcoin at the top of its range at 30K. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So you're going to start here with the Euro USD, and we're at that top of the range at 106. Believe it or not, we went from 103 to 106. That's a big move for the Euro. That's 300 pips. Looking at a weekly chart just to give us perspective, we do have resistance of 106.74, so just be aware of that, especially as we get to the 8-day moving average. Now looking at the GBP USD, also still trading below its moving averages, but did make a lot of real estate back from 121-ish level, 122 up to 125, also 300 pip bounce. And this is to be expected, right? I mean, I would expect it even to go a little bit higher, maybe 127-ish level before it peters out again. Now, looking at the Aussie USD, not as strong, okay, which is kind of raising some hands right here to give us a perspective of what is going on with the Aussie dollar as compared to some of the other major Forex symbols. Now, looking at commodities, gold trading at 1856, the top of that range. Now it's getting closer as it is making some real estate back. Okay, some of its sell-off it's making back. I would say the top of the range, I would give it to 1888-ish level. Now looking at crude oil, also trading at 111-ish level, right here at the top of the range as well. Okay, this looks a little bit more bullish. If I look at it at a 1 hour chart, made a higher low, made higher highs, but unfortunately not showing some volume around this area, okay, which is a little bit disconcerting at this range, so we may not bounce above this 112-ish level. Now looking at the U.S. markets, the Dow Jones trading at 31,430, just a little bit down this morning after this whopping return, okay, of 30,700. But taking into consideration, we're down 6,000 points for the year from our high in January. If you guys remember, we hit a high of 36,600-ish level, and that's exactly what happened. And it's been a roller coaster of a ride. I do expect it to bounce here. Okay, the next couple of months, I do expect it to trade sideways, maybe even bounce. Okay, so take that into consideration because this can still trade much lower. Okay, if this recession gets deeper, then we could trade somewhere in the 23 to 21,000-ish level. We're not there yet. Okay, we're still above 30, so that's a good sign. And I would expect some sort of bounce at a certain point. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, seeing some soft landing here. Okay, if we look at a weekly, you could see that hit that 200-day moving average. Very important, but it hasn't breached it. Okay, you don't see a bar below it, so that does give me some hope that it will bounce above it. Now looking at the individual stocks, Apple was down quite sharply, 137. You could see that it hit that 134 and then bounced above it. Now looking at Facebook, did make some real estate back, not much, but did make some real estate back. Microsoft also bounced at 248. But remember, we're way below our 300-ish level. Amazon also did bounce a little bit, but really nothing to write home about as it's really at the bottom of that range. Okay, we are at supportish area. 2150 is that area where we were at resistance-ish area. Looking at Tesla, this is really getting very weak. If we look at a weekly chart, this is not very encouraging. Okay, yes, we could go lower to 564, and that if we broke that, we could be back in the $200 to $300 range as well. Now, looking at JP Morgan, also trading to 117, which is a little bit lower, nothing to write home about, but the fact that it's trading below 120-ish level is very important for JP Morgan. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin trading at 30,474, Does look like it's firming up at that top of the range. So if we do break that 31,000, we could be back at 33,000. Okay, so just something to consider if that's going to actually happen later today. If it does progress and does give us that little whoop above, that could give us some movement as we are making some real estate back. So keep that in mind as this unfolds later today. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.